go through my readings, and so it gives me inspiration to pretty much to come up here and do a demonstration. So of course, whenever I come across something, that little sparks a little something in me, then of course I put it down on paper, and I'm gonna come out here and share it with y'all. Islam. So now this one, we're gonna go into, because of course it's part of our teachings. Allah and man are one. That's part of our teachings. Allah and man is one. So we're gonna go in a little bit into that. You go to the Moorish Holy Quran. You gotta have the materials out. Chapter 2, verses 12 to 19. Now this right here, this one is called the Education of Mary and Elizabeth. Right now, this is basically talking about when Jesus and John, when they was young, how they was brought into the school. No, from 12 to 19. Just read it through, and we'll go back and we're going to break it down. So.
We measure time by cycle ages, and the gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. An age had passed, the gate unto another age flies open at the age touch of time. This is the preparation age of soul, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of Allah and man. And these, your sons, will be the first to tell the news, and teach the gospel of good will to men, and peace on earth. A mighty work is theirs, for carnal men want not the light. They love the dark, and when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. We call these sons revealers of the light, but they must have the light before they can receive the light. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their missions to the sons of men. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but that through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. Teach that the holy breath would make them one again, restoring harmony and peace.
Islam. So now right there, we always say this little pamphlet is powerful. So you can always take like a little verse or even a couple of verses, and you can build on that and open up into something else. Because if you really go into truly what this book is about, right? This book would be humongous.
Islam.
But now we're gonna go back because we started out. So right there, we measure time by cycle ages. The gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. So now right there, we got to go into like what's a cycle age? A cycle age, of course, is 12 cycles. One cycle age is about 2,000 years old. Isn't that part of our teachings?
Islam.
Jesus,
Over 2,000 years old.
Right? That was a cycle. Now, a cycle of the 12 ages, and that's when you get into, some people get into the zodiac. This, of course, is 12, just like there's 12 months, our tassels, 12 inches, all that. It's all symbolic and significant. Now, the cycle of 12 ages is average about like 25,860 years. So now we go on a little further. Now an age has passed. So now one age has passed. So now, of course, because Jesus and John, they represent love and purity. But of course, John came first, but he represents purity because you have to clean your mind and your body. Once you clean your mind and your body, you get rid of the, symbolically speaking, the dirt of it, whatever. Now you're ready to accept love.
Islam.
Now, of course, now age is passed, and the gate into another age flies open. Because right now, Jesus is representative of the Piscean age. That's why we're talking about the Piscean records when you go into the Bible. Another gate flies open at the touch of time. This is the preparation age of the kingdom of Emmanuel. Now, see, we got to go into now. What's the kingdom of Emmanuel? The kingdom of Emmanuel, that means God with us is God. Now, you understand? With us is God. So now you have to understand, like, within us is God. Because now, again, you go into our teachings. Go into chapter 1. when it says, hark now, let every creature hear. I know the first one in chapter. Yeah, hark now and let every creature hear.
Should be on the left side, right? I mean, on the right page. That's when man
Okay.
stands back up, right?
Hark, hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of the soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifest. The perfumes and the odors, the true sensations, and the all of love manifest.
Islam. So now right there, that said all of love is manifest. That's within us. We are a manifestation of this love. Truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's within us because God is with us. But you know what I'm saying? And of course, we go into this first chapter, it goes into the creation and fall of man. It's showing about the first chapter talking about how we fell. So now what's our main object, our job?
Uplift
To get back to Allah. But of course now because of all these illusions out here in the world, man, we get distracted. Go into pardon me. So now as these are your sons will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of the goodwill to men and peace on earth. Now, of course, again, like I just mentioned, man, Jesus is representative of love and John is representative of purity. And of course, that's throughout our lessons. Even in our law, it said that we got to keep our mind and body pure with water.
Islam.
That's part of it, right? That's the first step. Even in, chapter 13, we ain't got to go to it, chapter 13 before Jesus, when he went down into the crypts or whatever, he had to go and wash, right? And then put on the proper clothes. It's symbolic that he has to clean his mind. He had to clear his spirit. But once you clear your mind and spirit, now then you'll be able to unfold the Allah that's in us all, Islam.
Islam.
Now, a mighty work is theirs, and the carnal men want not the light, as we know. Now, right there, it said, the carnal men want not the light. The carnal, now right there, we talking the carnal, right? When we go into chapter 1, we talking about carnal. This is where we at. We on the plane of manifest. This is our carnal body. Now, right now, we stuck. We caught up in the illusion, whatever. One thing we have to do, we have an eternal battle within ourselves, because we have to fight our body. Even though, like, sometimes you have something to do, whatever, your body may be tired, whatever, but you got to have that little internal battle. Like, nah, I got to get up. I got to do this. Sometimes even if something simple as, like, your body, because you know how they put chemicals and all this in the food and drinking all this and that. So now your body becomes addicted to it, and you may want this, but you have to have that body. You have to fight your carnal self to be like, you know what, I don't want to do that. I want to leave that alone. As we know, it's really, sometimes with not just the food, whatever, with the alcohol, the drugs. One of my previous demonstrations I did or whatever, they cater these drugs, whatever, that they know that within the melanin, they know there's certain drugs that we're going to be addicted to more than the Europeans, so they flood our neighborhoods with it. But we have to fight that carnal man. These are the ones who don't fight. Of course, they love the dark, and when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. So that's like I said. Now we comprehend the light. Now this badge on top of our head, that's symbolic of the light. We know we walk through the streets or whatever with this light on our head. People look at it like, it'll be our own people who want to be like, yo, what's that? What's that hat on your head? Why are you wearing all this and that? They stuck in darkness. They don't even know what it is. And then when you try to get them out of that darkness, they still want to fight you. Islam?
That's right, Muslim.
We call these sons revealers of the light, but they must have the light before they can receive the light. That's one of the reasons we say we have to come into the temple. When you come into the temple, even though you are a conscious person, you read this book and that, but when you come into the temple, you can learn the way that the prophet taught the people and the way it's been passed down. Islam?
Islam.
That's why we come in here, that's part of the teachings, like I even part of the other teachings, whatever, when they're talking about the Olmecs and all this, there's always been like a priesthood or whatever, to take these old traditions, the ways, and pass it on to the new. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their missions to the sons of men. That right there, that's self-explanatory. It's our job to go out there and uplift fallen humanity. But here's it, you must teach them that Allah and man are one. Look at the way that the Negro, the black, the colored is living. Do you think that's Allah and man? Or do you think these people know that they have Allah in them?
Nope.
They not. They don't. Because why? We caught up in them European ways. And to the point now, you tell people like we a religious organization, soon they hear religion, they think like, I don't want to hear that. You tell them Allah, I don't want to hear that. They lost in their ways. But you tell them something like, yo, let's go do this quick, get this quick bag or whatever. Yeah, I don't care, whatever you gotta do, let's get it.
Oh yeah. That's right, Muslim.
So now we gotta teach them that Allah and man are one. But the thought and the carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself from Allah, debased himself. And again, that goes back to our first chapter. We debased ourselves, but now we in a situation that we not even, too many of us, is not even trying to get back to Allah. We just stuck in our ways or whatever, and we good with it. Just like I was talking about before the meeting started. Like I know people like certain positions in their life, whatever. Like, oh, I'm good, man. My rent's paid, my mortgage paid. What I need to come down to the temple? Yo, I'm good being African American and black or whatever. They stuck in their illusion and they good with it. You tell these people you're in an illusion, this is not real. No, all right, I'm good. I'm good. I want to stay in that illusion. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That's what people don't understand. Because, of course, as we said, the kingdom of Emmanuel, that God is in us. So now we have to look into ourselves. First, we got to look at ourselves. You got to save yourself first before you can go out and save anybody else.
Islam.
And you got to have that harmony and peace in you. Because once you have it, whatever, it's going to attract people to you.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, let's go into the one-on-ones. Number 51. That's the thing. Like I said, this prophet, Noble Drew Ali, he laid out the blueprint, but because it's not written out in fine detail, a lot of people, they give it, yeah, exactly. They pass it over. They're not humble enough. Because as you come in the doors, whatever, you have to be humble, and you have to come like, you know what, let me understand and see what you're going to teach. And when you take the time, not even just sit here and listen, but when you go through what the prophet put down for us, the Circle 7, our 101, the Moorish literature, and you actually study this stuff, you be like, understand how we get such high honors to this man, Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Islam.
But we worship the Creator. We don't worship him. We give him honors, but we worship Allah. Islam.
All praises due. Islam.
51.
What have you to say about the holy breath?
All we can say is great.
It is good, it was, it is, and evermore to be.
Now, of course, another name for the holy breath, of course, we know is truth. Now, what is truth?
Truth is art.
What is art?
Art is Allah.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
So now, right there. So now, just like I was saying, now, when you researching something, if you look up something, even now you're doing something simple as you Google something, whatever, what are you trying to do? You're looking for the truth, right?
Islam.
If you go pick up a book, you may do it for pleasure, whatever, but you're trying to get to the truth. Yo, this book has some interest in me. I'm trying to get to the truth. You're trying to use that. Well, what's the truth? The truth is like facts. Now, we all know that even though with us, the truth is if we're trying to get back to Allah, truth cannot change or pass away, but the truth is Allah. That's our main goal. We need to get distracted. We have to find our way back to Allah.
Islam.
Awaken that Allah that's within us. Islam.
Islam.
So now we go to Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 7, verses 12 and 13.
Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 7, the friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. Verse 12 to 17. And Jesus,
12 and 13.
Excuse me, 12 to 13. And Jesus said, man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Man is the breath made flesh. So truth and falsehood are conjoined in him, and then they strive. And naught goes down in man as truth abides.
Islam. So now right there, man, even it's letting us know that there's a war inside of us. We got truth, we got falsehood in us. nigga starting to hell. That's why you see me all looking at it. You know, you start to bring out that truth.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's going on?
Make it plain, Mo.
You know, gotta break this down. But you know what I'm saying? It said to be truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Now again, of course, you know, we ain't gotta go into it, but matter of fact, yeah, we got time. Because how many cells are there?
Two.
Two. You got a lower self and a higher self, right? That right there, know this is like a duality. You got the higher self, we know what that represents, and then we have a lower self. Yeah, that hell's starting to come.
That's that truth.
That's that truth, right? Islam, right?
She
got
speak.
a hammer,
She speaking that truth, man.
But even with that, when he finished off with, and naught has gone down, and man as the truth abides. Excuse me, let me read that whole thing. Man is the breath made flesh, so truth and falsehood are conjoined in him. And they strive, and naught goes down, and man as truth abides. Now, that's one of the things sometimes I'm looking at it like, all right, what does abide means? So I see like a little word, maybe just throw.
To follow.
You said abide means to follow? What you said?
Follow or obey.
Okay. So now, let's look at what the dictionary says. Abide, of course, several definitions. To accept or bear. So now right there you got to backtrack. So man as truth abides, does he accept or bear? Because now we could say, does he accept or bear the falsehood and truth within him? Or to bear patiently means the truth in you, just kind of sit back and just be patient. You know, we're supposed to be industrious Muslims, right? Or to endure without yielding means you got to just keep on going. The truth, you got to constantly go against that falsehood. That higher self, you got to always see kind of that constant battle with that lower self, right? Or is it to accept without objection, or to conform to? See, what y'all said it wasn't in there. So see now right here, I'm just letting you know, like how one little word can just throw you off the track.
That sound like that Shakespeare thing. To be or not to be. That is the question.
Islam, right? So now, even that when you go into the definition of abide, whatever, I just kind of put that, because that caught my eye, whatever. And see, it has several definitions. And the way I interpret it, this is just my own interpretation. So now each one of the definitions, you got to look within yourself, which one fits your character. Are you the type that is going to sit there and conform to it? Are you going to accept it without objection? Are you going to endure without yielding? Are you going to bear patiently? Are you going to accept and bear? This is what it is about the truth in you. Are you going to fight for that truth? Are you going to do what you got to do to get to that truth? Or are you just going to fall back? Because I know we're playing demonstrations. We've been walking by the streets, and you can see somebody, they talking some nonsense or whatever. You know, some people just like, yo, what? I was doing something, but I'm going to stand here now, I'm going to hammer this truth in. Or you're just going to be like, you know, let me just keep moving. Or, you know, we see people that we know, whatever, you know they're not on the right path, whatever. You're just going to look at them, bear it, like, yeah, you go ahead. Or we're going to do what we have to do, part of our job to uplift fallen humanity.
Islam.
Take that person to our side, because supposedly that person that we have love for them, we take them to the side, and no matter what, man, we got to bang that hammer, the hammer of truth. But now let's go a little bit into the truth and falsehood. Of course, again, like I mentioned, that's like a duality. Now, of course, there's also like a positive and negative, meaning the positive be a male, negative be a female. Now, the positive or electrical quality, and then there's magnetic, receptive, or negative quality. When the two fuse, creative action occurs. The word here, negative, is used as an electrical application and does not mean that which does not act but holds power. I'll back up. It's electrical application and means that which does not act but holds power. It does not mean weakness but reserved power. The whole universe is built upon the fusion of positive and negative. So pretty much what I said, whenever there's positive, negative, there's two opposites, when they come together, there's something's going to happen. Like I said, within us, what is it? And then whatever, matter of fact, before I go to that, whatever happens, it's always like a different reaction.
Yeah.
Because just like within us, we have lower self, higher self, we have the truth and falsehood with us, but mine may manifest different than yours.
It's long.
May manifest different than yours. But we was all created the same way. A man and woman came together. The different energies came together, and a child was born. But yet, look how it changes. We all different.
It's long. They say you saying the magnet too, like you hold a magnet to certain ways, opposite of polarity, they'll come together. If they the same side of polarity, they'll just repel. You can't connect them.
Islam. And that's all I wonder. People say, it's not good to date your own sign. I don't know. That just really just popped in. Could be it.
Like, you really me.
I know, right? You're too much
There you
alike,
go.
man. It's like the same charge.
That's like that movie, was Will Smith. He was a superhero. He bumped heads with his wife. Yeah, Hancock. They tore the whole planet up. They knew they couldn't be in two spaces for a long time.
Exactly. But it's going back to electrical and magnet. The magnetic side draws to itself. It absorbs and retains power. Of course, this is symbol. This author he's talking about as the female uses like symbolism. When it contacts the positive, and of course the positive is an action or electrical. When it contacts the positive side, it gives off this power. Combustion occurs, a spark is lit, and force is generated. It's this process which moves cars, creates a child. Now right here, again, we already just demonstrated whatever. Now right here, it causes a force. Because there's force in us, which we know is a lot. We'll get into that a little bit later. But now this child, on a spiritual level, has a duality of energy in it, positive and negative. Just like we just talking about. So now it has to be taught the difference between truth and falsehood. Now again, now right there, we all came from a man and woman. We had these charges within us. We had this duality, higher self, our lower self, truth, falsehood. But now we also have to be taught. Even though it's within us, a lot of it is within us. We know like right from wrong, but still, once you factor in the environment, that's the main factor in how a child determines. Because we know you can have one person, as they let's say, grow up in a proper environment, both parents, they didn't have to worry about food, clothing, all this, and school, and everything was all good. And now they go on to college, and they may turn out and never see the inside of a police station. But then you can take another child who lived, say, down the block. They grew up in the next neighborhood over. One parent's not in the house, the money's not right. So now that child gets out in a different type of environment. That same child lives in the police station.
It's long.
Again, that's what it said. We have to taught. We have to teach that child. Wasn't that song? We was all born as 5% or something got in us.
Something got in us.
Yeah, something got in us. And of course, now between the truth and falsehood, the right and wrong, the higher self and lower self. The world is filled with signs and symbols. That's what it is. That's another thing. Like I said, when we go about our business, whatever, sometimes there may be signs, symbols in front of us that we don't even know what it is. Like with us, we know what this is, what this represents. But somebody who don't know nothing, they don't know that means love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They don't know about this flag or how this flag is connected to us. But we recognize that sign and that symbol.
Islam.
Now, one of them signs and symbols, one of them is the serpent, which is always much in evidence wherever ancient temples devoted to wisdom flourish. So now, the reason I bring that up is throughout ancient temples, throughout the world, Asia, Africa, India, even in some parts of Europe, and of course here in the Americas, the ancient temples, they had some type of form of, snakes around. They worship it, they believe in it, they represent different things. I'm going to go into a little bit of why. But right now I'm just going to deal with Americans, because right now we in America, so topic over there dealing with all them snake worshippers over there is a lot. But here in South America, this is just a quick run through. In South America and Peru, the serpent figures in the art of pre-Incan Chavan culture, Chavin culture, named Chavin de Honta, the principal archaeological site where the artifacts were found. The culture developed in the Andes highlands of Peru from about 900 BC to about 200 BC. It extended its influence to other civilizations along the coast. So now right there, we go into South America, pretty much it started out here almost 1000 BC and it spread. Now I'm going to go a little bit more, then I'm going to tie it all together. In Mesoamerica, the more like Mexico area, the Mayan deity Kukulkan, Kulkulkan, and Aztec Quetzalcoatl, both of them meaning feather serpent. Kukulkan is associated with vision surfing in the Mayan art. Quetzalcoatl goes back to about 1st century BC. Quetzalcoatl is associated with priesthood, crafts, merchants with wind, dawn, etc. So now right there, even Quetzalcoatl, of course, now he's represented by a feather serpent, and of course he was associated with the priesthood. In many Mesoamerican cultures, the serpent was regarded as partial between two worlds. So now just, let me see. So pretty much they worship it. Now right there, this snake was symbolic of the connection between the two worlds. So now we have to understand the two worlds. Within us, of course, we have the duality. Of course, we have the lower self, the higher self. And of course, as it is above, as it is so below. Now, of course, as we read before, we are a lot in the manifest, but also in the first chapter and throughout the Moorish Holy Quran, it talks about our soul. So right here, we just a physical, but now what happens after this physical falls to the earth and is no more? We have the soul plane. So now right there, let's talk about the snake. The serpent is representative of that pathway, that door that leads to it. But it goes on a little bit more. Now here, we went to South America, we went to Mesoamerica, now let's go to North America. Indigenous people of the America, such as the Hopi. The Hopi are historically referred to as the Pueblo people who constructed large apartment housing complexes and had an advanced culture. Now, if you remember, that's here, like right around north, I think like Arizona, northern Texas, around in that area. Just like I was talking about before, I used to watch Indiana Jones. It was the city of Petra. They built rocks, housing, the temples outside of rocks. These Pueblo Indians did the same thing over here.
It's Pueblos?
Pueblo, yep.
They got those in California. They got housing developments that's called Pueblo. The Pueblos.
Now, since there's something now, signs and symbols, you see that. Now, we wouldn't even recognize it, just paid no mind. But you come to the temple, now you understand how you make that connection to us.
Folsom too, right? Folsom?
Yeah.
Folsom got it.
And the reason this is so significant, because one time I did a demonstration before, now, which of course, what you mentioned earlier, Petra, and with these Pueblo Indians, the way that they build these houses, and of course, it lines up right across with the way they was doing it in West Africa. You could take this picture, you put it side to side, you're not going to know which is which. Now, right there showing the connection going back to Africa. Or even before that, going back to, and of course, the Petra that goes over there to what we consider the Middle East now.
Islam.
Now, real quick about the Hopi. Among the Hopi, snake handling largely in a dance to celebrate the union of the snake youth, sky spirit, and a snake girl, the underworld spirit. Right there, as above as it is below. And Hopi also is short for Hopita Shinu Moon, which means the peaceful people or the peaceful little ones. Going to Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 45, verse 5 and 6. Now keep in mind, like you see how this went to South America, went to Mesoamerica, and now we went to North America. And this one particular tribe, nation, the Hopi, their name when you go into it means the peaceful people or peaceful little ones. Read.
The Asiatic nations and countries in North, South, and Central America.
North, South, and Central America. Go ahead.
The Moorish Americans and Mexicans in North America. Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims.
Islam. All of these are Muslims. What does Muslim mean?
One of peace.
Islam. So you think it's a coincidence that these people over here, or what are named peaceful people or peaceful little ones? It all ties in. But now going back to the Hopi, and even in North America, the rattlesnake was worshipped by the Natchez in the Temple of the Sun. The Natchez from the lower Mississippi Valley. And again, a couple of demonstrations ago, how they lost the war to the French. And a lot of them, even though this from the lower Mississippi Valley, they were sold to the West Indies, shipped off to the West Indies as slaves. Again, showing that how he was captives of war. But of course, he's captured in the Temple of the Sun. It's also in the Moorish Holy Quran, the Temple of the Sun.
Heliopolis, right? Heliopolis?
There you go, Islam. And also in North America, the mound builders left the Serpent Mound in Ohio and designated, which is now designated a National Historic Landmark. So right there, I'm just showing to even from South, Central, to North America, they all have some type of representation of a serpent. And of course, now a lot of them, they was like it represented a higher. It was a pathway to the higher or to the lower. It comes down to which one you choose, what's the path that you're going to be on, which one you're going to take it to. Now, I'm just laying the groundwork, because of course I'm going to put this all together. It's going to make sense. I know right now it may seem like yo, where's this brother going with it? But it's going to come together. Since the story of Adam and Eve, the serpent has represented knowledge and sex. But of course, the serpent, again, it also represents a pathway. It also represents different cultures. Represent knowledge. It represents futility, and amongst other things. The symbol of a serpent or a snake played an important role in religious and cultural life in ancient Egypt, Canaan, Mesopotamia, and Greece. Now, we ain't got to go through the key 44. When he talks about Jesus, where did he teach?
India, Africa, and Europe.
So now he went to these places, right?
Islam.
So now you see how it's starting to kind of like ties in. So now, of course, this book right here, the Moorish Holy Quran, is about the missing 18 years of Jesus Christ's life, which is not in the Bible.
Islam.
So now if you go into this and you go into the missing 18 years of Jesus Christ, now you get a wider understanding of what he was about, where he traveled to, what did he learn, what did he teach.
For those who love Jesus.
Islam. Because right here, Jesus, like I said, he's symbolic of love. If you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else?
Islam.
It's like you say, if you can't help yourself, how are you going to help the next one? Getting back to the serpent was a symbol of evil power or chaos from the underworld, as well as a symbol of fertility, life, and healing. Knowledge, which is the mental, and sex, which would be the physical, which the serpent both represent, thus hinting at the close connection between them, between knowledge and sex. I'll get into that. It's going to make sense. I know when I first I was like, that sounds crazy, but it's going to make sense in a minute. The secret is that the creative force within us is one single force, whether it's to be used for physical or mental ends. We have a choice as to which way we direct this force, upwards or downwards. So right there, like we have the choice. You make a choice no matter whatever you do, whether you walk up the steps, when you take that elevator, if you're going to take the quick, illegal route to get that money, or you're going to take that slow money. If you're with a woman, if you're going to pursue it, if not, no matter what it is, it's a choice. Now that choice that you make determines what's going to happen later. So of course now if you make the wrong choice, knowingly, not even say knowingly, but of course now if you let your lower self win, you're going to start making a lot of bad choices in life. Now that karma and everything's going to come back on you.
Islam.
Now of course, because now this force, it said directs upwards or downwards. Of course, upwards could be like your lower self, upwards is your higher self. Of course, lower as in your lower, downwards as in your lower self. This force is called by the people in the East as the Kundalini. And it is linked to a serpent of fire lying coiled at the base of the spine. So of course, as we know, of course, obviously you heard of Kundalini. That's that snake that supposedly that energy flows to your spine. Yeah. That's why you look on the emergency vehicles and all that. You see, you had that staff or that rod, and you had that snake flowing around. That's symbolic of your spine. Now, of course, it starts from the bottom, so now you elevate and go up.
Islam, I think that the Asians, the Chinese, they I think when they do Tai Chi or they meditate, they actually
Energy.
they certain moves they make as they breathe, they channel from the bottom of the spine all the way up to the brain.
Islam, just like yoga and all that.
Yeah, I was watching something that the other day.
Techniques.
Yeah, breathing techniques.
There's breathing techniques, and of course, it goes into what you eat and pretty much your lifestyle. And I think it's like, if you don't know about all this and that, you pay no mind. Like we all seen them, like you just mentioned, like the Asians in the park, like what they doing with that?
Yeah.
But now they know, so they moving their energy throughout, wakening up their chakras.
Yeah, yeah.
If man steadily purifies his mind and nature through living morally, pure, decent, and moderately, he's able to magnetize the Kundalini serpent upwards through the channel of his spine. So now right there, like I said, we doing all this stuff, we don't even know that we locking the energy up within us. That's why even to the simple part, it's so simple with the proper waters, whatever. Even when we stand and pray, feet at a 45-degree angle, hands in the air. Right there, you letting that energy flow up through you.
Islam.
All the movements that we do, it's all about grabbing from the ethers, whatever, we bring it to the heart. Islam?
Islam.
And of course, in the heart, that's a lot.
Islam. Sometimes I be feeling like that too, like something ain't right. Like not like I used to be able to daydream and have like certain
Thoughts, visions.
Yeah, it's like I can't even.
Some might say like an out of body experience.
Yeah, and
Our spirit, our soul is actually in a prison within these bodies. So sometimes like when you dream, whatever, people are like, oh yeah, it's a crazy dream, but it may be something that happened in your past, it may be something that's going to happen in the future, it may be something that's going on right now on the other side of the world. But your mind will, to make so that you would comprehend, it will put faces that you know and recognize. You might have, yo, I was with a man down the block or whatever, but now you might have been living an experience right now that somebody was going through right now, or somebody else going to go through. Because there's been times whenever somebody tell you something, yo, I had a dream about that not too long ago.
Yeah,
You see somebody you haven't seen in a while, like, yo, I was thinking about you not too long ago. I mean, I was seriously thinking about you, now here you are.
Wow. Manifested.
Yeah. But now if you take all these foods and poisons and alcohol and all this and that, lack of exercise, now you blocking your own chakras, your Kundalini. And of course, he used, I lose my space. He's able to magnetize the Kundalini serpent upwards through the channel of his spine until finally he reaches the masculine and feminine principles of the brain and fires them in coordination. So now, roughly what this is saying, like now, when that, as we see on their pictures, when that Kundalini elevates and it gets to the mind or whatever, now if you focus in, that's where we go connect to the pathway to Allah. Pretty much what goes into the pineal gland. Even though there's 7 chakras, the pineal gland, the pituitary, is known as the third eye, which some would say the door to the next level. As we know, Jesus, he was able to go through this plane to the next plane back like that, right? Y'all heard that? Am I sounding crazy? Well, I don't want to sound crazy, so let's figure this out. I believe it's chapter 19. For a quick second there, everybody got quiet.
That's how electricity worked too. Said the Kundalini spine got the 2 snakes because the power comes in on the positive and returns back on the negative.
Go to chapter 19. You can start from 27 and read to 30. I mean, Like I said, this is in our Moorish Holy Quran. You got to read this stuff, man.
It's
You
long.
got to read it. You got to study. You got to internalize this stuff. Because, like I said, this is a powerful pamphlet. And now somebody can be telling you something right there, and you see how right now we just talking about it just like that. I can bounce right back to the Moorish Holy Quran. Because I've read this Moorish Holy Quran, I internalize it. So now, right now, when I go out in the world or whatever, this is my foundation that I stand on.
It's long.
How you gonna stand on your 45 if you don't even know your left from your right? Go ahead.
The problem of the age has been solved. A son of man has risen from the dead, has shown that human flesh can be transformed into flesh divine. Before the eyes of men, this flesh in which I come to you was changed with speed of light from human flesh. And so I am the message that I bring to you. To you I come, the first of all the race to be transmuted to the image of Allah.
Islam. That was it? 30.
What I have done, all men will do, and what I am, all men shall be.
Islam. So even though Christianity, they tell you, Jesus Christ is the Son of Man, and this and that, he's the only one or whatever. But right there in our Moorish Holy Quran, he said he was able to go from here to there. He was able to transmute his flesh. What I've done, all men can do. But if you don't know about this Moorish Holy Quran, how are you going to attain to this? If you just stick with the Bible, you just stick to one book or whatever, that one book, it doesn't talk about this like this. It doesn't say that whatever I do, it doesn't go into it like in the Moorish Holy Quran. It got chapters and chapters about what our brother Jesus, Esau, Yahshua, whatever you want to call it, things that he'd done. It's set an example. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali divinely put this together and prepared this for us to help get us out of our weakened state of mind. Islam?
Islam.
So that's why I go into you got to study this Moorish Holy Quran. It ain't just entertainment. It's it's a blueprint. Islam?
Islam.
Because now once the Kundalini, once it gets to the brain and fires them in coordination, the man is then filled with the inspiration and becomes attuned to the inner world of wisdom. This can only be accomplished with the help of the Kundalini serpent. So right there, you have to get your chakras and everything lined up. All the way through exercise, breathing techniques, and then like you said, what you would call visions and daydreams, whatever, you can actually have a little bit more control over it, and you will get more of them. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Because of course, now, like I said, some of these things is right in front of us. But if you don't take that time and let me go a little deeper into it and try to understand what it is, you're going to miss that. You're going to miss out on so much. And we know so many times people to read this more Quran, this and that, But we know this thing is powerful. Yeah.
Holy Bible, chapter 10, Jesus sends out the 12. I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves.
Whoa, say that again.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves.
Okay, you gotta get you a different Bible. But all right, it's close enough. Maybe Jesus was a hint when he said, pretty much in there, other versions said, be as wise as serpents. You have to be wise as the serpents. So now right there, the people that don't understand. So now you see how I went into the different cultures, how the snake represented, pretty much goes into the doorway to the upper levels and to the lower, to a different world in this world. With the emergency, like I said, it's the Kundalini going up the spine. You got to be wise.
Islam.
So now, right there, now we're going to backtrack because I'm part of this. Go into many laws of the universe. One is the laws of the universe. The law of evolution. A process of continuing change from a lower, simpler, or worse to a higher, more complex or better state. Aren't we evolving? We're supposed to be evolving, right?
Islam.
From that fetus, when that seed from our father and that seed from our mother connected, we evolved to what we are now, right?
Islam.
So now when this flesh dies and passes away, we don't need it no more. What's next? That's when you got to go into chapter 1.
Play the soul.
But people right here, they're not worried about the next level. They're just worried about right now. They're worried about just materialistic things. They're worried about the cars. I mean, nothing wrong having a car, but yo, you don't need all these luxury cars, the latest $3,000 on sneakers and all this and that. What good is all that? You can walk down the street, have a heart attack, drop dead before you even hit the ground. What good is that? Is that going to help you? And that stuff going to help you? So that's why I'm trying to put it in our mind or whatever. We have to always constantly evolve. We always have to constantly elevate.
My lady, rest in peace, her mother used to always tell her father, because he worked 2 jobs and he was always working, saving his money. Said, you never see an armored truck following a hearse.
Islam. Islam, right?
Yeah.
That's right. It's going a little bit more of a law of evolution because we're supposed to be evolving, and this is where this Moorish Holy Quran, it helps us evolve. It's part of the blueprint to change us from our lower self to our higher self. The more advanced type of human being is sacrificing his lower nature and striving to reach and copy a higher kingdom, which you already mentioned before, the kingdom of Emmanuel.
Islam.
God within us, we're going into a higher kingdom.
That's right, Miles.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. And copy a higher kingdom of beings than his own. He calls these beings angels, gods, or deities. Man depends upon the subtle or more inspiring minds of the angels for his awakening. Yeah, well, we got time. Let's go to key 65 to 67. So now right there, we got something to look forward to. But right there, we saw, well, with us, we know, Jesus said he went from this plane to that plane. He transmuted himself. And what he did, all men can do. Yeah.
What is the devil sometimes called? The
Lower self.
Low self.
How many selves are there?
2.
Name them.
Higher self and lower self.
Now, go ahead. 69 to 73.
What people represent the lower self?
Those who are Holy City, those who accept their teachings.
Shot. Go ahead.
What is the higher self?
Higher self is the virtues of harmony, love, breeds justice, mercy, love, and right.
Can the higher self pass away?
No.
Why?
Because it's a lot of men.
What does the lower self breed?
Hatred, lewdness, murderous, theft, and everything that harms.
What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him?
Satan, where are you going?
What was that? What number was that? So, so right there, I was just showing right there how this, the main thing I was talking about, how all this is within us. Like this Moorish Holy Quran talks about the missing 18 years of Jesus Christ's life, whatever. And of course, in the 19th chapter, he talks about what he did, all men can do. So now, don't get caught up in none of that. Like, he's the Son of God, so only he can do that. Whatever he did, that we can do.
Islam.
And now, of course, I'm going into like showing like how Allah is within us, but it's on us that we have to awaken the Allah that's within us. That's why he even said in our Moorish Holy Quran that the next level we have to go to the kingdom of Emmanuel, which means God is us, in us, with us. Excuse me, God is with us. Go to key 97. Of course, now this is 101 keys and lessons by a prophet they put down, whatever. Some of it may make sense when you first, may not make sense when you first come in, but when you study it all starts to make sense.
Who is Elohim?
Elohim is 7 created spirits that created everything that ever was, is, and never more to be.
Now, what we was talking about, now how we talking about the Kundalini energy rising through the body. That's one of our main goals that we have to do, right?
Islam.
Now, of course, now we're going now. How many chakras are there?
7.
7 chakras. So how many spirits was it? Elohim?
7.
7. Okay. Starts to make a little sense, right?
Islam.
Now, we also have 7 endocrine glands, which is the pituitary, the penile, the thyroid, the thymus, the adrenal gland, the pancreas, ovary, and of course in the men, the testes. These are all 7 physical representations of the 7 chakras. Now, if one of these, of course, is out of line, now everything else is out of line. Now, of course, we know I speak from a man's point of view. We all know we was young, we was out there, whatever. Testes, we was out there running all this and that. We was just thinking of our lower self, right? But now as we get older, we mature, we start to open up the energies within us, and of course through study and of course to the proper noble Drew Ali. So now we can go into the Moorish of the Quran, and so now we can make more sense of what he said, what Jesus did, all men can do. So now we go into the chakras. I'm going to finish up with this a little bit. So now we go into the 7 chakras. Let's see. The chakras are a part of the subtle body, not the physical body, and as such are the meeting points of the subtle, non-physical energy channels, and called nadis. So now right there, I was just making a comparison before for those who just came in. We was talking about the physical, and we talking about the energy that's within us all. But now we have to understand like how we line this up. So everything like I was talking about, how it is above, how it is below, it all starts to make sense. Because like within us, there's a lot. But we have to know how to wake up the Most High that's within us. Even though a lot of people like, oh, I'm conscious, I'm woke and all this and that, but what does woke really mean? If your chakra's not lined up and you out here still doing immoral things or whatever, you're not conscious.
Islam.
And that's not what we represent. You know, none of us is perfect, because like I say, none of us can't draw a perfect circle, so none of us is perfect. But we on that path. That's what it is. We on that path, and we want to uplift all humanity. We're trying to get many as we can with us on this path.
Islam.
Now, these chakras are channels in the subtle body through which the life force or vital energy moves. Various scriptural texts and teachings present a different number of chakras. There are many chakras in the subtle human body according to the tantric texts. But now I just want to go into a little bit into the chakras. So of course now we have the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. Of course the color is ruby. It's ruby red. Its location at the base of the spine. Now this corresponds with the hormonal glands. So we're talking about the ovaries, the testes, and of course here with the adrenal glands. And the characteristics of this is your patience, structure, stability, security, ability to manifest your dreams relative to sexuality. Like I said, the testes, the ovaries, when you're young, as men, you're young and dumb right there. That's the only level we're moving on. We just think about related to sex. If you look good, this, that's the main thing we focus on. But of course, as we mature, we open up our chakras, whatever, we elevate to a higher level. The next chakra, its color is orange, and this is between the navel and base of the spine. It corresponds with hormonal glands, of course, also the testes, the prostate, and the ovaries. The characteristic of this is wellness, well-being, sexuality, sensuality, pleasure, and abundance. Now, of course, the next one, of course, is the solar plexus, which color is yellow, which corresponding with the hormonal gland with the pancreas, because you see I listed the 7 endocrine glands. Now, this one's the pancreas, is represented by level characteristics, self-worth, self-esteem, confidence, personal power, freedom of choice. Now, right there, we were talking about before, it's all about choice. We went into a little bit earlier about the higher self and lower self. It's all about the choice that you make. Because man is truth and falsehood extremely mixed, but it depends on what choice that you make.
Islam.
So now I see how we elevate a little bit. Now, of course, now we have the heart chakras, prominently green, but it says sometimes pink is used. And this is, of course, the location of the chest behind the sternum. Of course, this would be, what was it, the thymus, represented by the thymus gland. Characteristic of this is unity, brotherhood, sisterhood, love, peace, purity, innocence. Doesn't it sound like stuff we hear in the temple? So we stand like this with our 45 with our hands on our heart, whatever. Now it makes a little bit more sense, right?
Islam.
Now we on that heart chakra. Now, of course, we go to the next one. Of course, with the throat chakra, located in the neck and the Adam's apple area, corresponding to the hormonal gland of the thyroid. You know, we go to the doctor, he put his hand up there, thyroid. These are characteristics of will, communication, creativity, truthfulness, integrity, and expressive. Of course, now we have the third eye chakra, corresponding with hormonal glands, the pituitary gland. The characteristic of this is wisdom, imagination, like we were talking about imagination, your daydreams and things like that, intuition and knowledge. Just like I mentioned before, how the serpent, when you get to the top, how it's representative of knowledge. Characteristics of wisdom, imagination, intuition, and knowledge. And of course, we have the crown chakra, which is top of the head, which would be a color of violet or clear, representing the hormonal gland, pituitary, and the pineal gland together. Characteristic of this is bliss, grace, beauty, serenity, and oneness with all that. So now right here, pretty much what I'm going into, because now Jesus was able to transmute and go from different planes at will, how he's able to go back and forth, because he was able to master his chakras. Now right there, we get caught up in these illusions of the worlds that we forget the path that we're supposed to be on. And of course, they take things and twist it. I don't know if you pay attention to the colors, but they flipped it, and now it's the gay flag. But you see, if you don't know that how they took it, and they don't flip this on us, you get caught up in the illusion. So you see these certain colors, but instead of looking inside the right way from the red going up, they put an illusion on us. What was that? So now I'm going to end up with this. We have to realize that the steady, patient, even, and balanced progress is the surest way. So, you don't know, people come in here, they rush, they want this, they just want that quick fix, they want that doctor, they just want that quick pill. They don't want to deal with that Eastern medicine until they get sick and sick after all these taking 100 pills for a couple of years, and now all of a sudden, now they want that Eastern philosophy medicine. We must not expect to come to results too easily. Greed of the mental or spiritual body will produce a congestion of sickness on these planes as surely as to its counterparts will on the physical. So spiritually, if you're broken down, your body's going to follow. Even though you can be in great shape and all this and that, but if your spirit is weak, it's easy for someone to come and take over you. It's easy for someone to control you if you have a weak spirit.
Islam.
That's why you have to keep them both in tune. To try to attain mental expansion while still the victim of the inhibitions and repressions is like trying to run a marathon but never working out on your legs. So like right now, people want to come in, you all know, people come in here, they want everything right now. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? Whatever. But it takes time. It takes it in degrees. That's what I say. You can't just read the whole Quran of Mecca at one time and boom, now you got it all. Plus you need someone to sit there and teach it to you and break it down. That's why we always say to come to the temple, because this is a part of our thing to help uplift people so you can don't get crazy with it. If we give it to you as you need.
Islam.
We have to realize that the glory of possible attainment, that lesser desires fade away. As we know, those who've been in the temple, we was living a certain way before we came in here. But gradually after a while, I was like, I'm good with that. Yeah. I'm good with that. Yo, what y'all gonna do? Nah, I'm all right. You may go out, before the temple, you had a lot of fun and all this and that, but now you go to them same spots, it's like, I'm gonna be out of here a little bit. This ain't really my vibe no more.
It's a little dark.
You know what I'm saying? You start to get up there, it's like, it's starting to get a little crazy, man. Before you used to jump right in it, but now it's like, nah. Let me fall back a little bit. Because in the desires, like I said, when you go into chapter 5 right there, talk about the circle. You got to use that circle to put a circle around the passions and desires. Now, when you was young, you had a big circle, so it's like, whatever, it's all good, man. I don't care. Party till the sun come up, right? Party not done till the sun come up. But now, like I said, it's like, I see y'all later, man. I gotta get up early. I gotta go to temple.
Islam.
It is only in purity of one pointed mind that we can welcome the greatest event of our life, the safe awakening of the Kundalini spirit. Key 93.
Will you define the word white?
White means purity. Purity means God. God means the ruler of the land.
So now right there, to make God means you like when we go into white. What was the crown chakra? It was a nice clear gold.
Clear.
Once you elevate it, like we wear white, right? It's just symbolic of what's going on above, the spiritual level. Now you go into chapter 1. Then he will stand untrammeled. Huh? All right. First chapter, pardon. He will stand untrammeled. Read that.
Then he will stand untrammeled on the plane of soul where he must fully complete his victory.
Islam, before you even go into that. Untrammeled, for those who don't know me, my English vocab ain't the best, man. So something like that, I gotta look it up. Like untrammeled, what is that, man? It means not confined, limited, or impeded. So now I would say, once you open up all these chakras and whatever, you get on the right path, whatever, now you untrammeled, not confined, limited, or impeded. Now we went to key 93, we say white means purity, purity means God, God means rule of the land. But you have to waking up that God that's within you. So now once you do this, go ahead.
Unnumbered foes will stand before man upon the plane of soul. These he must overcome. Yea, overcome them every one. Thus hope will ever be his beacon light. There is no failure for the human soul, for Allah is leading on and victory is sure.
So,
man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seat will have fully opened out, will have unfolded in the holy breath. The garb of soul will yield, have served its purpose well, and man will need it nevermore. And it will pass and be no more, and man will then attain unto the blessedness of perfectness, and at one with Allah.
Islam. So now, that's right there. I just want to finish up with that, because now the main demonstration that I was going into, it's like I'm saying, we have the path to do that we want. We have the lower within us. We are mixed. Man is truth and false and strangely mixed. But we have to understand that now that we know that truth and false and strangely mixed, what are we going to do to get out of that? There's a ways out of it. You know what I'm saying? Even though we woke, but how we woke? How is it going to get that to the next level? Even though we worried about the materialistic, we worried about this plane, but within us we know there's a soul, there's a spirit, which we call Allah. And after this flesh goes, what's next? And right there, it goes to the next plane. There's the next level. There's more to this. And the thing they said, like, if you don't learn these lessons, you'll be back. There's lessons to be learned. Like I said, someone say it was karma. Someone say when the soul goes up, if the lesson I learned, it will be back. We will return years later. Maybe even 1,000 years later. But the main thing I was just trying to say, okay, part of this Moorish Holy Quran, it lays out a blueprint of how to get us on the right path and how to waken up the Kundalini, all this type of things. This little pamphlet, as small as it is powerful. Once you go through it and recognize it and actually get somebody who knows what they're talking about and open this up to you, you'll be like, yo, I didn't understand how that little book can have so much knowledge in it.
Islam.
But next up, we're going to have Sheikh Muhammad Bey going to come up.
Islam.
Demonstrate for us. Islam.